Most men don't lose women because they're weak, broke, or unattractive. They lose them because of a few stupid habits they think are normal. No warning, no fight, no closure. She just pulls back, and you're sitting there like, what the hell just happened? Today, I'm breaking down 9 things a man should EVAR do with women, because one of these is probably killing your chances right now. It's late, like you're too late. Your phone's face down, screen dark, room quiet except that low buzz in your head that won't shut up. You keep replaying it, that moment, the tone shift, the way her replies got shorter, colder, then gone. And you tell yourself you're good, you're fine. You shrug it off during the day, laugh it off with your boys, act unbothered. But at 3, nah, that's when it hits. You wonder what you did wrong, or worse, if you did anything wrong at all. If this is you, lying there, staring at the ceiling, thinking, man, I swear I did everything right. This might hit closer than you expected. Because here's the messed up part nobody tells you. A lot of men don't lose women because they're trash. They lose them because of small things, quiet things. Stuff that feels harmless in the moment. The extra message you shouldn't have sent. The joke you walk back immediately. The way you explained yourself when you felt the vibe slip. Just a little. That feeling in your chest when you knew you should have shut up, but didn't. Maybe you called it being respectful, being honest, being real. But deep down you felt it. That subtle drop. That moment her energy shifted, and you pretended not to notice. You don't talk about that part. The regret, the questions you dodged, the what if I had just done nothing? And maybe you hate that this even matters to you. Maybe you tell yourself you're over it. But if you're still watching right now, you're not. Because somewhere in you is this quiet fear. What if I keep doing the same things and keep getting the same ending? So let me ask you something, and don't answer out loud. Just be honest with yourself. What if it wasn't about who you are, but about a few things you should have never done in the first place? Let me talk to you like someone who's been there. Not yelling, not hyping you up, just steady. Most men don't mess things up with women because they're clueless. They mess it up because they're trying too hard to do it right. That's the part nobody wants to hear. You remember that moment, sitting in the car after dropping her off. Engine still running, radio low. You replay the night in your head, thinking if you said enough or said too much. You tell yourself, I was just being honest. Yeah, I've said that too. Here's the myth most guys buy into. If you explain yourself clearly enough, she'll understand. If you show how much you care, she'll feel safe. If you stay available, she'll stay close. Sounds clean. Sounds logical. Life doesn't work like that. Attraction isn't built in conversations about feelings. It's built in how you move when things get uncertain. Most men panic in that space. They talk more, text faster, overcorrect. I've watched good men kill their own momentum doing that. Not bad guys, not players, just dudes who couldn't sit with silence. Here's a principle that usually rubs men the wrong way. Restraint is strength, not coldness, not games, restraint. Another one, and this one stings. A man who trusts his value doesn't rush to prove it. You can feel the difference when you're around that guy. He's not tense. He's not chasing reactions. He lets moments breathe. And yeah, I learned this the hard way, saying too much when I should have just let it rock, trying to fix a vibe instead of standing still and letting it show itself. So if things haven't been working lately, don't beat yourself up. You're not broken. You're just believing a few ideas that sound right, but play out wrong. The real question is, are you ready to stop doing the things that feel safe, but quietly cost you respect? The room's quiet, not peaceful, just quiet. That kind of quiet where you can hear the fridge hum through the wall and the AC clicking on and off like it's tired too. The air's a little cold. You should have turned it down, but you didn't. You're still wearing the hoodie she liked, the one she said felt safe. Funny word. Your phone's in your hand, screen glowing, nothing there. You tell yourself you're good, you're not tripping, but your chest says otherwise. You think back to earlier, the pause before she answered. That half second too long. You felt it then. That little drop in your stomach. You almost said something. Almost didn't. You joked instead. Bad call. Why did I say that? Why didn't I just shut up? You replay the text you sent after. The extra one. The just wanted to be clear message. Yeah, that one. You knew better. You sent it anyway. Thumb hovered for a second. Heart racing. Sent. Now it's midnight something. Streetlight leaking through the blinds, cutting the room in orange lines. The clock ticks loud as hell. Each second feels personal, like it's judging you. You tell yourself she's busy. You tell yourself not to care. You tell yourself a lot of things. But memory doesn't listen. Her laugh when you didn't try so hard. The way she leaned in when you were just there. Before you started explaining. Before you started fixing. Maybe that's the part that hits. Not that you lost her, but that you felt it slipping and still did the one thing you promised yourself you wouldn't do again. A lot of men walk around with beliefs they picked up without realizing it. Stuff that sounds right, feels safe, but quietly works against them. One of them is this: if I explain myself clearly, she'll understand. I used to live by that. Thought clarity was power. Thought if I just said the right words, the vibe would come back. So I'd talk and soften every edge. What I didn't see was how each explanation shaved a little weight off my presence. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. Say. Another belief goes like this: being available proves I care. So you answer fast. You cancel plans. You show up whenever. Feels solid. Feels loyal. But I remember sitting on my bed, phone in my hand, waiting for a reply that never came, telling myself I was being real. Truth is, I was chasing reassurance. Attention is cheap. Respect is priceless. Here's the sneakiest one. If I do nothing, I'll lose her. That fear makes men fidget. Makes them poke the moment, test it, overtouch it. I've done it. Felt the silence and rushed to fill it, but stillness is where your spine shows. You don't lose her. You lose your own presence. None of this makes you weak. It makes you human. This isn't about playing games or acting cold. It's about remembering who you are before you start reaching for approval. Let it land slow, no rush. This stuff doesn't hit all at once. The 1% headman doesn't look louder. He looks calmer. This is what he understands that most men miss. Attraction isn't built in effort. It's built in ex-presency. When the energy shifts, he feels it too. He's not numb, but he doesn't panic text. Doesn't chase clarity like it's oxygen. He notices the urge and lets it pass. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He pauses, lets the moment breathe, lets her show her cards first. Not because he's playing games, but because he trusts himself enough to wait. I've seen it in small moments. Phone buzzes. He doesn't jump. Silence stretches. He doesn't fill it with noise. Plans change. He doesn't over-explain. Most guys think strength looks like action. The headman knows sometimes it looks like restraint. This is what he understands. A man grounded in himself doesn't rush to be chosen. He already chose his pace. When things don't go his way, he doesn't spiral. He goes back to center. Gym, work, breath, routine. Not to distract himself, but to stay solid. He knows this truth even when it's uncomfortable. If she stays, it's because she feels his steadiness. If she leaves, he doesn't collapse trying to hold the door. Centered beats clever, calm beats convincing, every damn time. That's the 1%. It happens in a small moment, not dramatic, not loud. You're standing in the kitchen, barefoot on cold tile, morning light leaking in, pale and tired. Coffee's gone lukewarm in your hand because you forgot to drink it. Phone on the counter, screen dark. You almost pick it up. That's the reflex, that itch in your chest, the urge to explain, to fix, to reach. A flash hits you, her face, that half smile when you were solid, when you weren't trying so damn hard. Another flash, you later pacing the room, typing, deleting, typing again. Feeling smaller every time. Your jaw tightens. You exhale slow. Damn, I've been bending. The thought lands soft at first, almost kind, then heavier. You realize how often you abandoned your own rhythm just to keep someone else comfortable. How you shrank pauses, filled silence, handed over your calm like it was spare change. The fridge hums. A car passes outside. Life's still moving. Always was. You set the phone down. Not angry, not bitter. Just done. There's a weird piece in it, like your shoulders finally drop, like your spine remembers its job. You don't need to announce it. You don't need closure. The weight drops hard and clean. I don't chase what cost me my self-ga. And for the first time in a while, you feel solid again. This was never about tricks or winning or holding on to someone who already felt you slipping. It was about the moments you ignored, the tight chest, the extra text, the silence you were scared to sit in. You felt it every time. That quiet voice saying, chill, don't do that. And you did it anyway. Tonight, let it end here. Not with anger, not with regret, just clarity. You don't need to explain yourself into being chosen. You don't need to shrink to stay close. You don't need to break your own spine for anyone. Because the day you stop chasing validation is the day your presence finally hits. And that's when everything changes.